$13.95 Adelaide's 5AA with Mike Smithson.
Hi everyone, it's just gone 10:36 here at 5AA. We're moving on to a slightly lighter topic. Well, lighter for some, heavier for others. Save $30,000 in 30 days. It sounds too good to be true, but that's the 30-day challenge. Your family, your money. Wilson Luna, who is the author of the book, is on the line. Hi, Wilson.
G'day, Mike, and thanks for having us on your show, mate.
That's a great pleasure. Now, you say the core of the book, the Family Survival Guide, is a conflict-free four-step process for families to eliminate toxic debt, establish sound financial practices, and create wealth for the future. Sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, look, it's taken a lot of years to put together. And I think one of the principal things is, a lot of people have asked us, we've got a foundation book, and that sort of says, look, that's the longer-term thing. But when we talk about, like, the 30-day challenge side of things, we say, how do we get people results, massive results in the shortest period of time?
And how do you? What's the 4 steps?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. The 4 steps to get in there are usually, firstly, get out of any debt that you've got. Secondly, once you're out of debt, start protecting what you've already built. Once you've already protected that, then start, taking control of your situation and then building some wealth. Now, in order to build that wealth in a fast, dynamic manner, what we've done is we've designed this 30-day program that you go from zero to, and I suppose, we encourage, Australia to sort of get behind it because it's a great way to start the new year and sort of you go from zero to potentially, over $30,000 in annualized savings in just 30 days, just by changing your habits and the way that you view money, your attitudes, etc. And you can do it. We've trialled it with, various families, and the last one we trialled, $38,500, I think they saved in just changing their money habits, which was just extraordinary.
All right, let's start from the start.
Yep.
To get out of debt, if someone has a credit card debt, especially this time of year, is that, and I assume that's what you're talking about, not so much your home mortgage, which is more of an asset debt.
Yep.
But if you have let your credit card run rampant, and let's just say you might have $1,000 or $2,000 on it, and you think, well, I constantly seem to have that amount of money owing. How do you get out of that part of the debt?
Yeah, good question, great question, because that's where a lot of Australians are at the moment, particularly with Christmas coming up. It's traditionally the period where most people, if they're ever going to get in debt, they'll do it because it's emotional purchases. When you get those types of situations, you've got to put in, it's not just a matter of saying, okay, we're going to get out of it. You've got to put a little strategy in place to get out of it. And the strategy we suggest is usually, start prioritising all the debt you have. And like you said, a home loan, etc., is actually considered good debt because there's an asset behind it. Credit cards, however, depending on which ones they are very bad debt. We sometimes call them toxic debts. And what you do is you prioritise those debts according to the highest interest rate and the lowest interest rate you pay. Because the most important thing is you've got to remember that every time you get rid of a high rate in interest rate, let's say you've got a credit card that's interest rate in the 16, 17%, indirectly you're actually making 16, 17% every single time you pay into that debt. So it's probably from a maximising the value of your money, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to say, okay, where's my highest percentage debt? Let's get rid of that first. Now, how do we do that? The steps are grab and pay those debts before you do anything else. So make an automatic workout, do a budget for yourself and work out how much you can allocate to those debts and automatically make it sweep out of your account on a monthly basis.
So one presumes that if you're sailing close to the wind, it means you've got to give away the cigarettes, give away the beer. You've got to sacrifice something to service that debt, one would have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we thought, the 30-day challenge was just so effective, because a lot of people say, look, I've heard a lot about budgeting in order to get out of a certain situation like debt, etc. But how do I do that? How do I do that when I haven't got any extra money? So we've designed this 30-day challenge to say, here are, 30 days and 30 different habits you can change in your day-to-day lifestyle that will provide you with the additional funding to either get out of debt or start building some wealth for yourself. Because everyone says, it's easy, just budget and then, you'll get out of it. And the truth of it is that in the majority of cases, the majority of Australians don't have that additional amount of money of what they earn to what they spend in order to be able to effectively start paying down some debt or, probably getting the kids to a better school, or, maybe just enjoying that holiday that they might want.
So all of this, Wilson, comes down to self-discipline, doesn't it? That you've got to set your plan and set your sights and stick to it. You can't get yourself out of debt 1 month and jump back into it 2 months later, because you've got to re-educate yourself that there is a way that you can spend money, but you've got to do it in a responsible way.
I think the word re-education is spot on, because like you said, unfortunately, if we've built habits over all our lifetime, in order to change habits, that's usually the hardest thing we ever do in life. So that's why it's got to be a systemised change, where you start seeing some massive results straight away, and that way let's not use the word trick, but it sort of triggers your brain into going, hang on, I'm getting massive benefit out of changing this habit or this attitude to the way that maybe, like you said, I stop smoking, or I have, my first drink I have at a boutique beer when I go to the pub, but every beer after that maybe I might have, house beer or house wine. And when you know what to do with that money and you start seeing the results that it provides your family, that's when the real, I suppose, the attitude change happens, and you don't revert back to where you were, which is, it's like a yo-yo diet. You're overweight, suddenly you lose a lot of weight, you get to your ideal weight, and before you know it, you're back to that overweight again, because you haven't actually changed, I suppose, the important thing, which is our mindset towards how to effectively begin to save more money, or how to effectively start managing our money a lot more effectively.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, Wilson, today, and that is the 30-day challenge at all good bookstores.
Thank you very much, Mike.
That's a pleasure.
Cheers.
Wilson Luna there with Would You Like to Save Your Family $30,000 in 30 days? As Wilson said, and as I totally agree with, you've got to be responsible and you've got to re-educate yourself. So it's a nice paperback, 30-day challenge, your family, your money. So hop into that, and you can visit the website too, www.yourfamilyyourmoney.com, to get some more details on that and see if that might do you some good over the Christmas break. I might take that home and read it myself. I could do with a lot of re-education.